Hot Wheels Redlines are some of the most iconic and valuable diecast cars ever made. And today we're counting down the top 10 record-breaking sales that shocked the collector world. These aren't your average flea market finds. These are the rarest, cleanest, most desirable Redlines ever to hit the auction block. And the prices they pulled prove just how intense this hobby can get. Let's start with what makes these cars so special. Redlines were produced from 1968 to 1977. And they set the foundation for everything Hot Wheels would become. Spectraflame paint, deep dish wheels, wild castings, and short production runs created a perfect storm for scarcity. When you combine that with 50-plus years of survival odds, you end up with a handful of cars that almost never appear in high grade. And when they do, collectors go to war for them. Kicking off the list is a casting that looks simple at first glance, but becomes a monster when it shows up in the right color. Rare Spectraflame shades, especially blues, purples, and deep reds, can multiply the value instantly. When a near-mint example surfaces, the bidding climbs fast because everyone knows they may never see another one like it. Moving up the list, we hit the castings that were produced in extremely low numbers, or in colors that were never meant for wide release. These are the cars that usually came from early factory runs, employee take-homes, or short-lived regional shipments. When one of these unicorns appears, collectors recognize it immediately. Prices jump into the tens of thousands because the supply is microscopic. As we get into the top 5, the numbers start getting wild. These are the cars that define the Redline elite. Flawless paint, untouched wheels, and provenance that proves they've survived half a century without being played with, repainted, or restored. These are museum-grade pieces, and the market treats them that way. Some of these sales set new benchmarks for what a Hot Wheels car can be worth, and every time one sells, it resets expectations for the entire hobby. And then we reach the #1 spot, the most valuable Redline ever sold. This is the car that sits at the top of the mountain, the one collectors talk about in hushed tones. It's the perfect combination of rarity, condition, and collector mythology. When it hit the auction block, the final price didn't just break records, it redefined them. It proved that Redlines aren't just nostalgic toys. They're legitimate collectibles with serious investment power. Whether you're a seasoned collector or someone just discovering the world of Redlines, these top 10 sales show how deep the hobby goes. Every one of these cars tells a story about scarcity, survival, and the passion of the people who chase them. And as more collectors enter the market, the next record breaker might be just around the corner. If you've got Redlines tucked away in a box somewhere, now might be the perfect time to take a closer look. You never know what kind of treasure you might be sitting on.